We'll open the chat. Get in it. Hello. Oh, good. It's that one. Okay. Window tutorial. Let me make sure I got everything that I need. And a razor blade. So I'm going to cut out another pattern. But we do need to go over shrinking some too. So we're going to do a little combo here. We're going to do shrinking and lead right into installations. So when I get a new car in, first thing that I do is I roll down the window. And you have an option to either wipe off the seals or tape them. On new cars, it's not really gonna matter because they're gonna be so clean. But if they are felt seals like that Focus has, you are gonna want to cover them in something. It just helps. So this tape, we're just gonna cut in some smaller pieces. That makes it easier to install. And then I'm just gonna shuffle it into the door seal, just on the inside area here. So it's basically like putting a brand new seal, brand new temporary seal. On this back door, this window only goes down that far. So I don't try and make it overly difficult on myself. I just try and block off the sides, whatever's easy to get to. And it just works as a assistant for that. But before I spray the windows, before they're wet, just roll the windows down right away, because if they're wet, tape doesn't stick as well. So now we're gonna open the door, and we're gonna roll this up. So we still need to cut a pattern. And there we go. So let's do a quick recap on, I'll put it right here. Okay, let's do a quick recap on cutting the door. We're just gonna hand cut it start to finish and then immediately go right into shrinking. So we're gonna line this up at the bottom of the window here. Then we're gonna grab our safety cutter, trim that off. And then the areas that are kind of overlapping, like our plastic and painted surfaces, we just trim those a little bit shorter. Now we're gonna take our knife, poke just the first little bit of blade out. See, I'm almost run through this entire knife. I'm gonna snap this one off anyways, just to make sure it's nice and sharp. We're gonna start on this side, cut. And then we're gonna shift this over. Right about that far. And we're gonna go back over to this side, pinch in, cut down, tear away, shift it back. I have a little overlap on both sides, shift it down. Make sure that we're center. So again, make sure we have the overlap because this is where it's gonna get installed. Couple firm passes. Then we're gonna roll down our window. Take our knife, the top edge one, poke in. And then last, straighten out our corners. So just all these straight lines, just continue those. Round a corner. So since we're getting into installation, some of you guys have good patterns. but you're probably gonna need more because we really want to rapid fire installations. So it's a good time to also set up the plotter. So if anybody wants a demo on the plotter, we can definitely go over it more tomorrow too as well, but I'll get that set up so I can start cutting out some extra patterns. Trim this off just a little bit more. Okay. So we need to shrink this window. The glass is curved, the film is flat. So a lot of times what happens is when you still have the seal installed and you go to install it, little fingers are gonna pop up off the bottom, they can pop off the side. It's just all the edges and the seals are wet. And we need to just form this or mold this piece of film so it fits the same curve as the glass. You can see them kind of popping up around here, and I'm sure you've seen them before. So what I want to do is I want to wet down the entire window so I can freely move my pattern around. And now I'm going to force all this extra curve. I'm going to try and bunch it up right here at the bottom. So I'm going to flatten it out here on the top, press hard, and then drag this down. And then same thing here. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna drag this down. If you find that there's not really fingers that pop up, you still usually have to shrink it some. It just means they're not really showing up. So you can do this side, press inwards a little bit. And what you'll do is you'll force a finger and a little bit more film to bunch up here. So that way when you squeegee this down, you have a little bit more that you know you need to shrink. So for the rest of this, I'm just lightly pressing out some water here. You can see all those fingers kicking up at the bottom. So we've taken all our slack and we've pushed it here in the middle. This is hard pressed down, this is hard pressed down. Everything in the middle is kind of like softly pressed down. So it's gonna be a little game of whack-a-mole. We're gonna shrink each finger, but then the bigger ones, when you push it down, you're not necessarily going to shrink them entirely, but you'll get them most of the way there. And then when you press them down, you'll have a smaller one pop up somewhere else typically. But you just turn the heat gun on high, and you just heat up the finger, and you get this zigzag pattern going. You press that down, and because this is still loose, you have other ones that'll kind of pop up in its place somewhere else. See, we got a little one that popped up there, press it down, and you just keep doing that. So you get that zigzag, press it down, zigzag, press it down. And this is usually enough, but sometimes, like I would start with this. I don't want to make shrinking overly confusing. Get used to just doing this and installing, and then based on what we see, we'll kind of make some adjustments. You can do something called double snapping. And so after we shrink the fingers, sometimes it just needs to be tightened up a little bit at the bottom. But because it's nice and flat against the bottom, it's like, okay, so how do I do that? We're gonna lift it, let air underneath it, tack down the sides, and now anywhere that we shrunk is kind of holding the film up off the bottom a little bit, and we leave it dry. We take the heat gun, turn it back on, and we take that heat, and you just tighten up that lower portion. And it basically just pulls it in a little bit farther. So if you shrunk like this and you still get a few little fingers to pop up, it's worth doing that, and then it'll generally just take care of any shrinking issues that you had. So now we need to install the film. So I'm gonna leave this here, and we're gonna grab a razor blade. So I don't do much cleaning on the inside of the window, unless there's something major, like there's old tint on it, or, yes, I came prepared. I don't do much cleaning on the inside of the window until I'm ready to install it, because most glass doesn't need much cleaning before you go to install it. If you notice it's like especially dirty, or there was like a dealership sticker and there's residue all over it, take care of that first before you cover it up. It'll make it a little bit easier. And then door panel covering is really good practice nowadays, but most doors are fairly water resistant. So it doesn't mean they're waterproof, but when you're tinting something, fabrics are going to soak up water and hold it. So when you deliver it back to a customer, this would be annoying if it was wet. So that's one reason I'll definitely cover it. But in general, these types of plastics all wipe up pretty simply. Door panels, like as long as you are conscious about where the water's going, you're not really going to cause a problem unless you're dealing with like really sensitive materials, generally on much nicer cars. The occasional like limited edition, like on a Ram, for example, they do have some stitching on certain trims that if water seeps into it, it'll cause the trim to kind of like swell and bubble. So certain things like that, you definitely want to make sure don't get wet. But for your most part, hard plastics, soft touch stuff, that all wipes off fairly easily. The biggest thing that you want to make sure is covered is the switch area. So I would, at the very least, always make sure that I put a rag over the switch, because water would often drip down, funnel right to a switch, and then bad things can happen there. Window no worky no more. But there are door covers now, so we're just going to take it, cover it up. If you make videos and you don't cover a door panel, people think that you are ruining their car, which is why I cover so much more stuff up now. So spray the window. We need to scrape this off. Not every window is going to require a razor blade, but I use razor blades so often just as a way to be thorough. So I roll the window up, and I use this just to loosen up dirt that might be on the window. It'll get rid of stuff that is stuck to it. So like little bits that might be just stuck, something that like if you took a scrub pad, lightly went over it, sometimes you can't feel that kind of stuff. So that's why I just like taking a razor blade clean out of a scraper or anything and just going over the window. I'll do the bottom half first, and then I'll come back and I'll do the top half. The window is going to get installed first with it down a couple inches. So that's why I take care of the bottom part first, and then I go back to the top part. Ooh, where's my door seal? Was that this guy? Oh no, it's one of these. Whoa, why do I have? Oh, I got 3 here. Okay. Maybe. Yeah, it's like which one of these is it actually? I think it's this one. Yeah, they're pulled on the back one right now, which is good because I'm going to show bottom loading right after this, but come on. Oh, I probably have the wrong one. This one, this one. Probably this one? Or is this one I just had? Or it's just this part? See, I'm less familiar with putting door panels or seals back in. Oh, it's upside down, that's why. No, it's definitely not this one. It's got to be that one I had, right? Or there's one here. This looks like a front. Yeah, that's a front. We should put tags on these or something. It's getting stuck here. There we go. Okay, I figured it out. There we go. My window's installed again. So I'm going to 2-stage this one first because I want to show how many steps there are, and then we'll simplify it with bottom loading. And just like Sharpies versus not Sharpies, it's easier to install the window when you remove stuff. So there's gonna be just a learning curve in handling the film, squeegeeing off the window, getting film on the glass and going from there. So I don't wanna make it overly complicated first. So if you've never installed a door, it's worth doing it without the seal first. And then after you do that a couple times, we can reintroduce the seal. That focus, those front doors, we still remove entirely. But the back doors and the rest of these doors are all fine to install with or without the seals. So I've scraped the window, and then from there, we have the pink clean squeegee in this handle. Makes it really easy to clean off a window. So squeegee from the top to the bottom, but always go from one side over to the other, because you're trying to make this as clean as possible. So you don't want to just put your squeegee all over it. Always have some sort of method for it, because if you do this, like, yes, you're squeegeeing the window, but there's like dirt that can build up in all these trails and stuff. So you just want to always have some type of pattern to this. You can wipe off a window, but what's really going to clean it at the end is squeegee passes. It's going to make sure that all that dirt is away. Then I'll take a tri-edge card. I'll swipe the sides, and then give them one extra flush, and then we're ready to go. So I tend to not like to touch the adhesive at all. So I pick it up a little bit differently. But again, for simplicity right now, we want to get used to getting the film on there, and then we can introduce some of the little harder things afterwards. So I'm just setting this on the outside of the window. I have the tint just kind of overlapping this flat spot. It makes it a little bit easier to peel. And also I have this all nice and like close to the glass. So it's not just like overlapping the top, falling away already. We want to peel this, so we need to kind of anchor it to the window first. You can either flick the corner with your fingernail and get it to peel that way, or you can use your teeth and shift it between there. Those are usually the easiest ways to peel tint. But since we're two-staging, we're gonna pull this straight down, and we're gonna go halfway. Then we wanna just coat the window. And when I say coat it, coat it. Like, don't just leave it half sprayed up here, a light mist over there. Just make sure you get a nice heavy coat over the whole thing. This is a tacky film, so it likes to stick. So you wanna make sure you have it coated on the outside, and just make sure that's nice and coated on the inside. And so I'm gonna grab the tint from the top corners. So I'm just gonna rinse off my fingertips quick. And I'm gonna stand on this side, grab the top corners, and then I'm gonna let gravity help me out a little bit. So I can scoot in here, and then I can start with this very top corner, get that on the window. That way I'm not trying to juggle the film as I'm trying to get it on here. It just makes it a little bit easier. So from here, we need to tuck it into this seal first. So I'm gonna take my tint, I'm gonna curl this up, and I'm gonna press it inwards a little bit. It's still curled, I'm not folding it flat, but I'm just giving it some pressure that way. And that way I can just, you see it basically flattens this whole side out, and then that tucks right into the seal. If you have an area that bunches up, it's generally because you didn't flatten it out. So I'm gonna pull this back a little bit. I'm gonna take the tint, curl that up, flatten it out. So if the tint was overlapping anywhere in here, if it was like protruding out like this and I'm trying to shove it in there, it's gonna crinkle up right here. So that's why I take it and I kind of flatten it out, and then I push it back. I push it back this way into my side seal. I'm gonna put a little bit more soap in that bottle too. So I can get this as close to the top edge as I want without going over. Keep that in mind. So if your top edge cut turned out jaggedy, or there's an area that kind of protruded up, that forces your whole pattern to settle down farther from the top edge, and you'll see those little waves. Top edges, you'll have a little bit of a gap. You just want to make sure they're nice and even throughout. So if you're like a 1/4 inch away from the top, somebody would notice that. But if you're, you know, within like a 32nd of an inch and it's nice and consistent, you just like, you can get as close as you can, or as close as you want, just as long as you're not going over. Anything that goes over is going to peel. So sometimes it's hard to tell, so you can take your hand, run it across the top, but you will see a little bit of a gap up there. Then we're going to go back to our pink clean squeegee, and we're just going to lightly squeegee out the top area here. Start kind of in the center and work outwards. You don't need to shove this squeegee into the seals. You just want to get close, because we got other squeegees for the sides. So what that does is it helps spread out the film. It starts to tack up even more aggressively. And then we can take our harder squeegee and do the same type of pattern. But when we're pressing, we're going to press a little bit harder. That way we get some extra water out. But that first pass is to really help spread out the film and just make sure that it's not going to move around on you a whole bunch. So you don't have to, like, you'll get used to holding it in place and pressing harder with just the squeegee from the beginning. But until then, get used to just lightly press out the bubbles. They'll start tacking up, make it a little bit easier. On the sides, we have these tri-edge cards. These have 2 edges that you can actually use. This flat edge, the longest edge, is just to give the card a little bit of structure and strength. So you don't squeegee anything out with this. But these cards, the sharper beveled sides, those are the ones that you use. Shove that all the way into a seal. And then you're just gonna basically like scrape the edge along the tint. So you flex the card against the glass and just like scrape it. Like you're trying to take some glue and just like, you're just taking that water and that air and you're squeegeeing out the window. Same thing with this side. Doesn't matter if you use the shorter side or the medium side here, just don't use that flat side. Press that in, put some pressure, and just scrape it up the tint. I'll give it a little wiggle and check to see if it's gonna move. If it's not moving, that's good. That means I can roll up my window. Now, in your case, something that can happen is with worse adhesive, if you have too much soap in your bottle. Let's say my window is just scooting around and it's not tacking up. One thing that I can do is I can take a heat gun and I can just start warming up my top edge. So I'm just gonna point it at the top corners. I'm gonna get them nice and toasty. It's gonna take probably about 30 seconds. But I can gauge the temperature by putting my hand on the inside. That doesn't give me an actual number, but as soon as it starts to hurt to hold my hand here, if it gets hotter than that, you're gonna boil the water. So you can just heat it up. You'll feel like, ouch, it's starting to get hot. Back the heat off, and then it's just gonna basically tack up really quickly and dry out. It's like, if you keep it in that temperature range, it dries out really quickly. So it'll still take probably a little bit longer, but what you're doing is that glue is now softer, it's more grippy, and you've really accelerated drying everything out. So I can still wet the corners so they slide a little bit easier. And one last thing for what you were dealing with, it's like most of the time you can just, you squeegee it out and you just roll up the window. You don't have to take any extra steps. But I'm saying, like, if they were pinching up here when you rolled them up, heat up the corners first, let them get nice and hot and kind of dry out a little bit. And then you can wet the film, put a little counter pressure like away from the top seal, and then just roll it up and you should be good. So now that we got their window rolled up, we're gonna do the bottom half. So when I rolled it up, that brings dirt out of the seal up with it, a small amount, but still some. So I basically just take it and I rinse off that area. And now I'm gonna pull out my liner. And since the liner kept the glue from getting wet, we're just gonna re-wet the glue. And now we're gonna tuck the corners. So I'm gonna use the shank, our tucking tool. Now, it's flipped up a little bit here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this back and get it to curl inwards. That'll let me push the tint right against the glass. And again, for tucking this, we wanna make sure this is nice and flat, but I have a seal here, so I'm gonna pull back on my seal. Gonna kind of squeak this over to the side some. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with the other corner. I push this against the glass, pull back my seal, and get this side to kind of flatten out. And then I just kick that into the side as much as I can. But you notice this bottom part is now butting into the seal. It wants to just drop down there. So if there's no seal there, it'll install perfectly fine. But we're gonna lift it up, past that seal, come back to a corner, and then we can basically just pry back on the seal and try and stretch the film in this direction. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna start dropping down. Anywhere that's protruding out from a seal, we're just gonna pull that back. See how that all drops into my seal? So one reason it was extra easy to do that too is I'm not trying to go down 2 inches down into the seal. The more film that I'm trying to tuck down here, you have to pull the seal farther back. It's just gonna crinkle up. It's not even gonna install right. So you just don't have to go super far down. Then we're gonna take the pink squeegee, start in the middle area, and work these bubbles mostly out. Just kick them towards the edges and some down, right like that. And then we can go spray our window again and use a harder squeegee. Just push some water out. And then we're gonna go back to a tri-edge card and go completely around. So again, I'm gonna take one of these, not the super long edge, but one of the shorter ends, and then we're gonna push it all the way into the seal and scrape around. And there you go. You should have a nice pretty window. So from here, I'll wipe it down, I'll check it over. There's typically gonna be something that you can find after your install, but that type of stuff should be pretty minor. Another thing is, because we two-stage it, you're generally gonna have little folds or a couple little fingers, one on each side that pops up. Be honest, I'm not really seeing them here right now. So we'll see them soon enough, and I'll show you guys how to touch those up when they pop up. But I wanna now take a chance to bottom load this window. But we're gonna do it with the same pattern that we have. So, bottom loading is a much easier way to install the film. The trick, though, is that the seal always has to be removed. But you can see, in this case, if you pry back on the door panel, this pops out. So this often is not connected to the rest of the door panel. So sometimes it's a matter of just a couple little screws, some little push clips. You pop that back, this comes out, and then you can have a much easier time actually tinting the window. Ooh, I think our jump box is off. No? Should be good. Unless it was just really stuck. I think it was just really stuck. This motor might be getting worn out. It's been through a lot. But I'm gonna use the same pattern. The only difference with bottom loading is instead of peeling half the tint, we'd peel the whole thing at once. So So I'm gonna put this on the outside of the window, and then I'll come back, I'll clean the inside and pretend that we just peeled that off. I'm gonna turn that jump box back down too. I don't wanna fry another battery. All right, there we go. I'm gonna add just a little bit more soap in here too. I think I'm a little bit light. So when I'm installing, if I notice my pattern just doesn't want to slide very much at all, I'm gonna add just a little bit more soap to my bottle. If it's sliding way too much, then I want to back off the amount of soap that I have in my spray bottle. So that's your best indicator of like how much soap should I use. It's like you have a really wide range of the amount of soap that you can use. It doesn't matter if you go too heavy, but it generally becomes way more difficult if you're too light because it sticks so fast. So I'm gonna squeegee off my window. The window is also a couple inches down from the top, just like we would do a regular install. But the difference with this one is we're gonna install the full thing at one time without 700 bajillion little steps that we have to remember. You're on the outside, you've pulled the seal, you take the liner, you rip it off, and then you just coat your window. And then we're gonna pick up our film. And then we're gonna drop the whole thing in. So the tricky part is just some cars, they don't come apart that easily, and some cars do. So we're gonna start with the longer side, that corner. We're gonna kind of tilt it forward. And you wanna keep the top kind of pulled back, because you don't just wanna scrape it against the top. That's really the biggest thing to watch out for. So you get that bottom part in, start with that front corner, and you see how this is already on the window. Scooch that forward, come back here, and there you go. That's already on the window, ready to squeegee. I wasn't even really aware of this method until I was like at least like 7 years into tinting. So the reason I still two-stage as much as I do is just because I'm way more comfortable with not taking the stuff apart. Like it's more of a pain in the butt at this point to learn what I need to disassemble to make it just as difficult for me as it is already. So that's why I don't feel like it's something that I want to do regularly, but there's still definitely windows that I will do this with. So we can squeegee out the top part first and kind of leave this lower part. And then we're gonna roll up the window, and then we're gonna squeegee out the rest of this. Harder squeegee. There we go. And we're done. So if you want just the simplest method possible, it's that right there. You can look up a video on how to either remove a door panel or remove the seal. There's also really good Facebook resources. There's a group dedicated to actually removing seals, and they post a lot of videos and tutorials on how to do it. And if it's harder to find a video, a lot of times you can find a disassembly video on the actual door panel itself. So that way, at least you come prepared knowing what you kind of have to do to get that to that point already. But anybody that's a little bit more mechanically inclined, this is usually their preferred method. There's plenty of people that have gone from two staging to then just pulling seals and bottom loading it. So I don't care which method you use. Just the point is to tint as many cars as we can and make customers happy. So whatever makes the process easier for you, I just started from the very beginning with two staging, not by choice, that's just what somebody taught me. And so it was like 7 years before I even learned about anything else. So then I just continue, because a lot of these cars are easy for me to do without removing seals, but on a lot of these cars, they're also easy for people to remove seals. And then that makes the trickier part, learning to install tint, that much easier. So then you can do it that way. So, I popped the seal out of that one. We have all the door seals that can be popped back in if you want them, but if you have never installed, first practice shrinking, let's install with the door seals out, and then we'll introduce two staging afterwards. The front doors on the Focus as well already have the seals removed, I know that. Those ones have really bad, annoying plastic trim that gets in the way, makes it a lot harder to just two-stage that one, so it's easier if you just remove the seal. And I'm gonna set up the plotter so we can cut out some more patterns. So anybody that wants a quick tutorial on the plotter, I'll do that right now, but I mean, we still have time today. Practice installs too, and then we can go over the, like this isn't the only time I'm gonna go over the plotter. So if anybody wants to go over it later on, we definitely can. Any questions? All right, have at it. Yeah.
So with the Teslas, is it the same way when you pay out? I haven't worked on the Tesla yet, but is it the same way you shrink it?
It's the same way to shrink it. There's gonna be a little bit more to shrink on it. Daniel was doing some tutorials, so we can definitely go over a tutorial with you on that one too. Okay. So. Tesla, I leave the seals in. You can still bottom load them the same way. So like if I'm installing these, I'm actually not gonna two-stage them. I'm gonna peel the whole liner and I'm gonna install it, but I'm actually gonna leave the seal in because it really doesn't get in your way at all. Okay. So very little. You can do a little pressure outwards against the glass and you can still take a shank in here, but you still have room to work with without even having to pull them.
Okay.
All right. Plotter. What is this one? Carbon something. It's actually got carbon something written on the box. I want a full roll. Let's put a full roll on here. This is carbon 20, carbon 20, carbon 20. Let's grab. Is there one of those? Let's grab a new 5. What's up? Where did I mess up? Oh, I know exactly where you messed up. Okay, so this door is a little bit unique. So this part is actually part of your top edge. So you're not far off. This is your side, and this is your side. And then when this rolls down, this then becomes part of your top edge. What you look for is anything that is curving up into the window is usually tucked up into the seal pretty far, and then when it'll drop out when you roll it down. So the distance for this is much slimmer than the distance for this. So that's why you got such a gap here. So on your next one, Sharpie line here, Sharpie line there, cut those, but then your top edge, when you cut that first, you'll cut this and that. I can go over that with you too. I'm gonna get this plotter set up. You wanted the plotter demo too, right? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Majority of the cuts, honestly, like it's good to know this, but majority of the stuff I'm just gonna do plotter.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's definitely good to know hand cutting. Do you have one already?
Yes, grab tech, same one. FC.
Nice.
Because I do PPF. So
Oh, cool.
this is relatively same but different.
Same, but different. All right, let's see if this connects. Okay, I'm gonna open these rolls and I'll get one on the plotter. What software are you using right now?
Core.
Good choice.
Core solid. The dad stuff just looks like Android to me. Core is like the iPhone.
What PPF do you use?
Autobahn.
Okay.
I was gonna ask if you were familiar with their film.
I'm familiar with where it comes from. I have not used Autobahn directly though.
I'll give it a go. i3 Plus, I heard, is shrinks like butter.
Yep, really good shrinking film. It's gonna be, so we were talking about films earlier up front. It's gonna be a lot more similar to like Pro Classic and Pro Nano. It's a multi-layer dyed ceramic. Good stuff. Pro Nano from Geo, hell of a shrinking film too. It's like a 2 mil thick film, shrinks really fast. Dyed films tend to shrink pretty easily. Okay, so for film, and since you're already pretty familiar with the machine, main things are gonna be about like pressure and blade differences. So for the roll, we're gonna cut on the tint side, and the goal is to not cut through the liner side. So I'm just gonna take it and drop it on the same rollers. I'm gonna take these stickers off.
Oh, I need to know where to get tint blade. Mine came with one, but I lost it.
Ah, okay. So I bought, I'll find the listing for you. I had some OEM ones, and then I bought an Amazon pack of replacements, and they work plenty fine.
Whatever works.
The nice thing about PPF is you're not really worried about cutting through the backing because it's so thick. But for tint, it's so thin, so you can do a lot more damage to your cut strip really fast, and they're a pain in the butt to change.
Oh, this?
Yeah. So one thing that I did it a little after I already damaged it, but you'll see I have 2 layers of Teflon tape. This stuff here, it peels very easily, but it's also really glassy and slippery. So some people use that type of tape and put it over like their cards for tinting, just so they're less likely to scratch or something. But I put 2 layers over my cut strip, so if I ever cut through the tint, it's digging more into that tape and protecting the cut strip underneath, and it still does a perfectly fine job in cutting it. For your blade, these yellow cap ones, you want to go for a slimmer angle, so it's like a 25 or 30 degree blade.
And PPF is 45?
PPF is sharper, yep, like 45. So I have 2 different blade holders. That's personal preference, but I have one set up for our thinner carbon and single layer ceramic film, and then I have presets in a different blade holder with the blade just a little bit farther out and settings all ready to go for the 2 mil stuff. You can often get it dialed in to cut both, but you're just gonna wanna remember your presets. So condition 1 for us is just the regular stuff. Condition 2 is gonna be for our 2 mil thick stuff. So this blue one is actually we had set up for PPF. So we had 3 blade holders, 1 for each type of material. So you just set it up like normal. On window tint, you have a roller on each side, nothing in the middle. And then we're gonna go over to core.
Oh, because it leaves that stamp.
Yes, it'll leave a stamp right in it. Please let me, 14 days, cool. We'll update later. So, vehicle, I used to have the PPF database, but I don't do any PPF anymore, or at the moment, so it's expensive, man. Yeah, 200 for tint, which isn't bad. PPF is where it gets brutal. but it's
600 for Volvo isn't too bad. Like if you're relatively higher volume.
yeah. If you're actually like, you gotta make. That's the thing is like they're not interested in anybody that's not doing volume though at those numbers. It's like they're $600. They expect you to like you're doing PPF.
Yes, or they kind of trap you into using their phone. So sometimes more.
Yeah, you get discounts from them, right?
If you spend, I think, $5,000 or more within a 6-month or year period, at least. So you
That's
spend
not bad.
300.
That just means you're like a pretty okay dealer at that point. I think that's a fair trade-off. I'm more happy that they actually leave the software.
For everybody.
Yeah, I get so butthurt about everybody else closing them off. Because they would let us, so there's like, it starts getting me triggered about PPF software. We would use other Tint software, and then they would call us up. Like we got a call from Suntech after a year, and they're like, hey, we noticed you don't buy our film. We're like, no, we like this other film. And they're like, well, you can't use our software anymore. And we're like, what the fuck? And then that's it. We just had to go find something else. So this is a like 2010 Nissan Altima. And then you got all the windows. So Core will, have you cut any window tint on it?
Yes and no. So like I had a buddy actually come out and show me the ropes. That's why I know so slightly a good amount.
Okay, cool. So you click on a set of patterns, it'll auto-populate both of them. You have all your roll sizes, as you know. For window tint, I recommend cut on pull. It'll spit the film out entirely and then drag the blade back through it. With tint, it's just more susceptible to bunching up. So a continuous cut, I feel like sometimes gets distorted a little bit more.
Okay.
It's just thinner.
Would it be better for PPF as well?
I don't think you need to with PPF because it's thicker. It wouldn't hurt to try it with some stuff. As long as it's really good at like your bumpers, as long as it's really good at rolling straight. I had an FC 7000 that it was fine for tint, and I have no idea why this was the case, but it could not keep it straight. Like after a while, like it would spit the whole bumper out, come back, spit it all out, and then it would start to skew.
So what I was told is that you feed as much material as you need. So
Yeah.
that, you feed it out, and then you press home, it pushes everything back in, and then you feed it over the liner. Lock the bars, the rollers.
And then it should go straight.
It should go straight, it doesn't bunch up.
For whatever reason, it had to be something with the rollers. But it would like, I'd spit it all out. I'd try and get it to the line straight. It would be fine. I'd click cut, and then eventually it'd start doing this. Drove me crazy. But yeah, for tint, it's perfectly fine. PPF, that's the only thing that I could think of that might mess it up. But so you put your patterns, and then you click cut. Pretty straightforward with window tint. But yeah, the biggest thing is dialing it in for tint. So start with, I'll show you how much blade we have out. We don't have hardly any blade poking out of the end. Start with that, and then our force right now is 15. So I don't recommend necessarily going too much higher than that, but it'll be somewhere probably between like 12 and like 16 is probably where you're going to be at your pressure. So we have some patterns. Oops, let's not do that. Let's not slice up my machine.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, why don't you use the crosscut?
It's so slow. I hate it. On the FC 9000, it's just slow.
Just put way too many blade marks into mine where it's just like...
Yeah. I can understand on PPF too. It's so much thicker. I'll show you though. I'll cut these out and I'll let it cross cut. Watch. So like with tint, you're just generally being a little bit faster because it's like, okay, I got a set of doors. Now I need to cut the back out. And so...
Especially since you can't really have the rollers in the middle.
And so I got my cut, but let's say I want to cut my next set of patterns. It's not gonna cut it until it's done dicking around. And it does that for too long. But I could click cut on my next set of patterns, so when it's done cross-cutting, it'll just start cutting the next set. So with tint, it doesn't matter necessarily which way that you peel it. Some people will trim it first. Oops. Some people will trim it first around the border and then peel it, and then some people will just peel off the entire pattern. But since we didn't cut through the liner, we're still gonna have to do a little bit of trimming. Is it ready to cut the next patterns? Okay, good. 1 hour later. So we still have to go through and weed them. The bottom, you wanna keep somewhat close. The sides, if you're two-staging, you definitely keep close. If you're bottom loading it, it's all getting peeled off anyway, so it's not really gonna matter. But when we shrink them, the liner is really thin, so it's gonna shrivel and shrink faster. So on the bottom areas, you just wanna make sure that it's a little tighter. Top doesn't matter so much, but yeah, that's all set, ready to install. And as far as orientation goes, the top one's gonna be for the passenger side. The bottom one's gonna be for the driver's side. It's more just film is getting fed that way. So you're looking from like a top-down view into the tint. So you're always looking at it like you're sitting in the car looking through. So this one is this one's the passenger side. He's on that one. This one's for the driver's one though, if you want to take that. Let's go. Y'all doing vinyl? No, window tint, just really dark window tint. Do you need to heat shrink pre-cut window tint? Yes, actually. That's what we're just getting into right now. So even though you cut it off of a plotter, I'm gonna put the back doors here and kind of get those started because I just want to make sure everybody's got patterns. So we're gonna go back to our vehicle. We're gonna click on the back doors, go to our cut board. But yeah, all this does is cut them out for you. So you have patterns. You still need to take the time to weed them, and it's still flat film on curved glass, so then you need to shrink it. I'll push it over here.
Okay.
My thinking behind that is it just lets me keep the long edge nice and flat. So it gives me a better chance of making sure that I'm gonna take all this bulk and try and shove it there without leaving too much left behind. I wanna see how that works. And then lightly squeegee out the inside. And then we'll see what pops up. If nothing pops up, I'll help you make a couple little fingers. Because there's always stuff that pops up after you install it. That's what's such a pain in the ass about this, is sometimes the way that you squeegee it out, sometimes doesn't kick up fingers like you kind of want it to. So we're gonna reset this one. So if I notice that I'm really not getting any fingers, then I'm gonna push just inwards a little bit and create a couple like, see like the little difference here?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think it just gets stretched out a little bit, so then they're flat, versus like kicked in like a half an inch, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, we got some fingers there. So then I'll take my squeegee and then just do that, and then you can lightly squeegee out some of the rest of the water. But we want to shrink some fingers. So if we have to make them pop up. Yep, there we go. We got a couple bigger ones. That's good. So then those will create little ones. It's good. Clotted patterns like to do that. They'll peel easier because you can just grab the liner instead of the tint. But yeah, that definitely helps shrink it a little bit farther. I'll lightly tack down the edges on the sides, so that way we're not squeegeeing those, or we don't want to shrink the edge. So I'm just gonna take it and just lightly tack that down. See, I did it too. There we go. And then hit that side too a little bit. So when you shrink, avoid anywhere that's lifted and just focus on just the fingers, and basically from like here over to there, just as a way of tightening it up a little bit farther. And one extra thing on these bigger dry ones, don't use the card. You don't have to, like, it's dry underneath, so just heat it and it'll tighten it up, and you don't, so
Oh, because I run this with grease.
if it's dry underneath, it's not gonna slide. So it's basically just like these lower portions. So like a little bit closer right down here. And then over here. There we go. Oh, I know. I know, and I can see it. But yeah, I'll step in from time to time and just show, like, this is how you can do it. I know you're just getting comfortable with it, but just to help speed that up a little bit. And then if I spray it underneath, this is just a wet check. I don't have to do this when I'm familiar with shrinking, but just to see, like, which we should be plenty fine.
Double shrink.
Looks good. Let's get a stool over here too. I'll grab one for you. Yes. If we have one, are we? Oh, it's right there. I love making trips all the way around the car and finding one right here. Okay, so door covers?
Oh, let me go grab one.
Door cover. Do we have some razor blades out?
I have them in my top.
Just put them. Just put it right here. People can grab them right here.
If anybody
Oh, you're fine.
needs
And a free
razor
phone.
blades, they're right here on the table.
We got some blades. Yeah, grab your door cover and bring it on over. Why is it on the outside and not the inside? It's getting there. Be patient.
And do you sell all this stuff?
Mm-hmm. What tint brand? GeoShield. We saw the pretty orange boxes. We're practicing with their C2 carbon in a variety of shades this time. How do I get a tint waiver? Talk to your doctor. Yes, tint training class today. Did I cut it in the middle? I don't remember. I don't think so. Do you shrink on the car door? What's up?
So if I'm getting a couple of these little,
Couple little fingers. Generally, it means it needs to be shrunk more, or it wasn't squeegeed out as evenly as what it could have been. We probably can touch it up. This is on the bigger side, but we probably can still touch it up. So I'm gonna take a card. I just wanna see where we're at with it and see if it pops up again. Yeah, okay. So, I'm gonna take a heat gun and we're gonna warm the side up. So there's gonna be a little bit of time before the heat passes through from the outside to the inside. One thing you wanna make sure is that you don't burn their trim. So you can take any type of card or a piece of cardboard even or something and just block this off. Or you just put a little bit of heat on it, take it away. Plastic trim cools off pretty quick and you add a little heat, take it away. And you just gradually warm the glass up. I'm gonna get it to, so put your hand right here just for a second or two and you'll feel that heat where it kind of stings, but it's not like, That's where it's a little bit below boiling. So it's really hot, it's gonna dry out fast. Then I'm gonna take my card pressure and start at the outside of it and just press nice and hard. And then hopefully most of it will stay away, if not all of it. So there we go. We got this stay away. All you're really trying to do is accelerate the drying.
Okay.
So same thing with what's down here. This is a lot easier to get to because we have no seals. So if I squeegee this down, I'm gonna see what actually stays away. Sometimes even just like sitting there for a little bit got it to actually.
oh yeah, okay, because I tried a little bit.
Geo starts to tack up pretty quickly. Sometimes like if there's no seals in there, but a lot of times when you actually have door seals, that holds water, keeps the edges wet, and then they will constantly come back up on you.
Okay.
So same thing, we got another little one right here. You can kind of see all that water in there. First thing I'm gonna do is just knock that out, then take a heat gun, warm that spot up, and then you can press it out. Oh yeah, we got a little one popping right back up here. So for this one, we could take a heat gun, hold it back a little bit farther and just try and cycle some hot air in there.
Okay.
You just want to be careful you don't get the heat guns too close to interior trim because that'll especially just like fry it really quick. You'll see a few of them that are burned. But yeah, pretty good overall.
Thank you.
Oh, you're almost there already. Nice.
The only thing I didn't do, door cards.
Ah,
Door cards.
you just ruined the car. Chat's gonna be furious.
If you're feeling a window though, and you don't spray it all, and it just goes, it'll stick right together, and you won't be able to get it stuck. But
I used the cut stripe on the plotter and it works amazing. Oh, hell yeah. That's cool. You know, it's been a long time since I've tried that. I did do that a while ago. Glad to know that it's working.
So
How you doing?
I did the back one. I did good on the back one.
Nice.
But I took it back. I took it off. Cause I think
Oh, there's 10. Oh, yeah. There's 10 on here.
there is 10 on there, right?
Yep. There's some left over from the last class.
Okay, that's why I was like, man, everything worked. It was just a little bubble over here. I was like, oh my god.
It's light. I think somebody left like a 50% on here from the last
what it looks
class.
like.
Yeah, I can see.
I'm gonna do this.
You can learn about removals.
Yeah, you know what? I might do that after this one.
We'll fire up a steamer for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it.
But yeah, work on this one. It'll take probably like, we have a couple different steamers. They're both gonna take like 10, 15 minutes to start up. So I can make sure this is on and then work on that door and then it'll be all ready to go by the time you're getting back to that one.
Yeah, I want to do this one like start, shrink it, and finish it. See how it you know.
I like it. Have you tinted a Jetta? Yeah, I've got videos on them. So, Daniel, somebody just called out your signature. Somebody said it looked like shit.
What?
Hopefully Daniel has improved his signature for these guys' certificate. Mine was shit.
what are the ones I initialed for?
I don't know.
If that's anyone with the initial, I don't know what
I don't have a very good signature either. Oh, it's Greg Stone.
Which one?
Greg Stone.
How long ago was that?
Oh, he's Ghost Tech. Okay. It would have been a while ago.
Oh, yes, I probably initialed it.
Probably.
There was one that I initialed and everybody was like, why'd you initial it? As if that was really going to make it such a huge difference.
It makes it official. What happens if I have bubbles after 4 days? They're not going away.
So this is just
That's typically what that means.
probably when we cook it up and all that. So I was just worried too much about that. Then you would have rolled it up. Yeah, now you're good. Most of this you can just squeeze straight down.
I like this live. It's a free tinting class without hands-on. So if you're book smart, this works.
Yeah, it works just as well. You definitely don't have to practice putting tint on. You just have to watch the video. You know how to do it all.
That's right. All right, I gotta find a. Ooh. I gotta find an extension cord for a steamer. Huh. We're gonna be sneaky about it.
Next, are we trying
What's up? Yeah. Yeah, you're free and clear to, if you want to bottom load some more windows, but yeah, if you want a 2-stage, pop a seal back in and then go for it. But I can walk you guys through if you want me to. I think I gotta go steal power from all the way over here. Back here in the corner. So many heat guns, so many extensions. We have juice, we just gotta hunt it down. Here you go about cutting a small back window with no dot matrix. Oof. Does it just have like a gasket seal? There's usually going to be a little gap on it if there's nowhere to tuck the film.
Don't you got like little small ones too? Like,
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of different types of steamers. This one's all right. It's one of the more recommended ones, but it takes a while to heat up, and it's just got a big tank to it. So if you're removing a lot of film and stuff, you can do any smaller, quick startup steamer. So I had one. I bought a shark steamer years ago. I had another one in between there. They were both like 50, 60, 70 bucks from Walmart.
worth it.
But I've got a pressure steamer as well that we're playing around with, but it's a little newer.
And that's good to use for like the back window especially.
Computer size. What's up?
That's good to use for the back window especially, right?
Yeah, so if I'm removing just a couple door windows, I'm really just gonna take a heat gun and warm up the film and see if that helps. Other than that, I don't necessarily see the point in starting up the steamer to pull just a door window, because I can usually just strip a door window in the time it takes this thing to start up. But a back window, I'm always gonna use a steamer for. It's like even a steamer isn't necessarily going to take all the glue off.
I heard scrubbies usually good too.
Scrubbies are good. We have scrub pads. You guys have scrub pads with your sets too. So if you're taking glue off of defroster lines, you're going to use an adhesive remover,
Okay.
and you're also going to use scrub pads. But on door windows and windshields, you can scrape all the glue off. Scrub pads are still nice though. What equipment are you using while wearing the glasses and still able? Okay, so this is a phone. You should be able to see it. Yeah, see that? That's just a phone on a neck mount. And then I do have a headset. I don't have it in right now, but we have a chat software on the computer so I can read chat messages as they come in. I gotta put you guys on the big screen. Look at these edges now. You know, I just take this for granted. This looks,
Thank you.
that's really good. Way better than at the start of the day.
Well,
That's so clean.
I just
Nice
started using
corners.
a little bit because before I was using like a lot. I mean, that's probably why.
That's what we do best. We figure out the little reasons why everything was going to shit. Nice job, though.
Sure.
Is the phone just shooting to the RTMP server? Yes. You want to know something I learned the other day, though? There's a protocol called SRT. It goes right to OBS from a phone without needing a server. I just learned about it like a few days ago. So if you want to stream from a phone to a computer in an easy, still high quality way, look up SRT.
Put a little bit over the flat like that, right? Shrink it, to shrink it, we put a little bit over this side.
I'll overlap it the other way. And my only thinking behind this keeps the tint kind of curled up along the biggest stretch of film. I want to make sure I get as many fingers as possible. So I keep it flat along this side just so I can try and gather more. But we'll see what you get. And then if there's not really any fingers that pop up, I'll help you out and show you something that'll do. Oh, it looks like we're getting some lightly pressed down in that area. So you just want to basically kick out a little bit of the water, but you're not trying to like hard squeegee it down because you want to have those fingers pop up. So we got a little bit. That should be still a little bit loose here. Yep, this should be good. So sometimes, like if I just see really small ones, I'd push inwards a little bit, and that'll kind of get some to bunch up, and then you're for sure shrinking fingers.
So you're kind of like purposely making fingers, even though there's no fingers, but you want to have some fingers?
Yeah, because they're going to pop up on the inside, and you're going to be like, what the hell? I thought I shrunk it, and for whatever reason, like those didn't pop up on the outside. What did I do wrong? So it's like they're there. They generally will pop up. It's just kind of making themselves more pronounced. But the way that the tint is kind of overlapping the edges, it's not really letting us get the whole picture of it either. But that's good. Yep, we're getting fingers. This is good. Look up SRT, just saw Dodge. Yeah, but type like live streaming in there or something. You aren't wrong though. This is what Mark said. I told him about SRT, and he was like, Dodge? I probably wouldn't teach people to round off corners on the car, especially on the driver's door. You're not wrong. It's definitely safer to take them somewhere else than on the window. I did round corners for a long time on door windows. I don't know. I never had anything bad come from it. So as long as you're using light pressure and you're being careful, but yeah, you ultimately should try and take it somewhere else if you can. Yeah, looks good. Let's go. So is SRT Studio better than RTMP? I think it's simpler. I don't know SRT Studio, but some newer like PTZ cameras have it built in, and then they're building it in as a streaming protocol to certain apps. So I'm using like Streamlabs right now for RTMP, going over to the computer over there, but it doesn't have SRT. So, was it Mavis? Mavis Cam? I found a video that suggested using that, so I set Mavis Cam on a phone to stream directly to OBS without needing anything else.
Did you order that 60-inch roll?
Yes.
Okay. I just saw it on Friday. And
Like,
panicked.
35, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that part. It was Apex 35.
Yeah, because I said we're never going to use it.
I did remember. Hopefully it'll get here in time.
Yeah.
There's another guy coming in that's scheduled for Friday.
Yeah, an X3.
Are you going to be here on that Friday?
I can be here Friday.
Okay. Do you want to
Can't
tin
be
on?
here Saturday, but I can do Friday.
Okay. I might have to reschedule Saturday then.
The Saturday one I would take if I have a golf tournament. Otherwise, I would take it.
Of course you do.
I know. It's crazy.
Are you announcing
No.
you're not going to be pro?
Nope. I
Okay.
played with my nephews though. I'm excited.
Oh, okay.
Never played with them in a tournament anyway.
Tri-Edge Pro's 4 card came with 2 felt pads, 1 for each. Okay, so on the Pros card, I have, they say a double buffer. So you put the small one on first, and then you wrap the larger one over it. So it's a double buffer. Gives you a little bit more padding right here if you want it. I like it that way because you get like the firmness of a hard card, but you get a little bit of the forgiveness of like a felt pad or the felt block. But yeah, both together. Does GeoShield Ceramics Tint have a green hue to them? No, I don't think. There's like Pro Nano that leans more brown, if anything. But that was really just in like 35. Ooh, I would bottom load this one.
Bottom of this one?
On the front door, I'll show you really quick why. I'm not going to stop you if you want to move forward. Seal's out of it already, but you see how much that speaker gets in the way? So when you're two-staging it, you're trying to tuck it into like that far. It makes it really difficult to two-stage it without creating a bunch of pinches and stuff like that. I've done it, but if you're not that familiar with two-staging, it's just way simpler to bottom load this one. But if you just want to go through it, just putting that disclaimer out there.
So now two-stager is when, what again?
So two-stage is going to be like you're installing the top portion first,
Okay.
and then roll it up and then peel the bottom. But bottom loading is going to be we just take the entire liner, clear off the window, and then we tuck it all the way into the window.
Okay. And you said it's a little difficult doing it?
It's way difficult doing it two-stage. Any of the Ultima windows are going to be much easier to attempt two-staging.
So what do I have to do, take the panel off now?
No, it's actually the seal's already out.
Oh, the seal's already out.
Yeah, seal. We pulled the seals on these ones
Okay.
already, so you're all ready to like just soak the window down, peel off the entire liner, and then bottom load it. Looks like the Geek Wrap Suede Buffer Squeegee. There's a lot of different cards that have like this type of, the Pros card comes out a little bit more, but I like Tri-Edge a lot. They're made down in Palm Beach, Florida. I talk to them pretty regularly. They're cool people. They make all their own stuff in-house.
And I just enabled automatic follow-ups. with
Here.
the studio.
Okay.
So basically, if nobody replies for 2 hours,
You're gonna wanna sit on that. That's gonna help. It looked like, oh shit, I forgot. It looked like there were some messages that didn't get responses this morning.
fixed it.
Ah, okay.
already get
Like some people did, and then some people just didn't.
There was a weird issue with the vehicle gear that was causing the message to fail. I don't know how that could happen.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go down, keep going down on this. So when we're bottom loading this one, hang on. We'll back up a little bit. We wanna clear this part first, so we can get that front corner in, then slide that all the way in, and then that frees up this back edge. So then we can keep coming down and then curl this inwards a little bit, and then that comes back, right like that. Yes. So like if you were to install a door window, you'd do it that same way. You'd kind of like go down with the front edge first, and then it would kick in on the back side. So I'm just gonna peel this back off, re-wet this down, and I'm gonna have you do it again. You can get a lot of practice with just this one pattern, doing that a few times.
Yeah,
put this here. Whoops. Our steamer is steaming. Want to see somebody install a front windshield on a Focus? It's really a pain. Tomorrow we'll do installs on that. Here you go. You can always tuck it down a little bit farther than you did. Like this edge, you had it down at the front edge and then you started kind of like bringing it back up. Focus on you can go dip down a little bit farther with this side at the beginning and then that'll free up this back side a little bit. But you're good. Now you can just put it back up top. I would take that same piece probably a couple times and then just go through those motions, but you're getting the idea for sure.
Try one more time.
Here, sorry, I'm moving the steam out of the way. Yeah, it's steaming, but I put it on standby. So whenever you're ready for the removal, you can jump to the back door and do that. How's it going?
Perfect.
Yeah?
This one came out good. And now I'm trying the 5%.
Okay.
Now it's the rear, so I don't have to two-stage it. I think that's what that is. Mm-hmm. Or I am supposed to two-stage it.
The seal's in it, so you would be two-staging it. We could always pull it out if you want, though.
All right.
Bottom loading is going to be the easier way to install it. But two-staging, a few more steps, good to know.
Yeah, I'm going to try two-stage.
Okay.
'Cause I feel like with the seal's out, you said you have to be mechanically inclined.
Well, it just tends to be people that like taking apart door panels, taking stuff apart. People that are more mechanically inclined tend to like to do that a little bit more. I like taking stuff apart too. I just, for whatever reason, tend to leave door panels alone for the most part. So I tinted for a long time without ever pulling apart seals and door panels. So I got used to just like always having to struggle and figure out how to do it without taking something apart. But there's people that come in here for practice with like automotive mechanical backgrounds or door glass replacements, or they just like, oh yeah, this is way easier for me to just pull apart a door panel or just pop out a seal. So I'd rather do that.
Right. I do like a whole bunch of car work, so it's like I replace windows.
Oh, so yeah, that's second nature for you.
Yeah.
If you're,
It works perfectly. Doing it, pulling the seals out.
There
then
might be some quarter windows you find.
then
you know,
practice
pop that out.
Really?
practice that. I wouldn't even bother two staging for the most part. Just practice popping seals out. That's gonna be super easy for you.
Okay. Nice. I will that.
How you doing on this one?
Phenomenal.
The greatest.
Just wake up and piss excellence.
How you doing?
I'm all right. Just first time doing it from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna get these for installing it.
Cool. How you doing on this one?
Good. I did it dropping it in, but then I'm gonna try two-step just so I know how
Okay.
to do it.
Let's
I feel pretty comfortable like taking
let,
a car door apart and whatnot.
let me see what seal. These always go up. I know that much.
Okay.
And then it's either for the other side or for this side. Because I think we're doing the right one though. It's probably
Oh, maybe.
this probably sneaks under something. Yeah, the other one of these. Might be that one. Oh no, you got the right one.
This one.
So they go this way. No. The other one of this one. So that one. That one I think is correct. Yep. Yep. So this, it got a little caught right in here, but it slides like that. And it got, like, when I was installing it, it got a little snug right there. But there we go, right like that.
I already installed the film. I don't know if it's a little short.
You're covered. I don't see any gap here. So, as far as I can tell, you're good. Oh, you found it?
Yep.
Good. Perfect. Do you want me to help you through it? Or you just want to go for it? It's up to you.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Spray bottle. It's all shrunk.
Reusing the same. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, looks good. Looks ready to go.
Maybe start with it down.
Yep. Start with it down a couple inches. And then for squeegeeing it, if you want to take a seat, it'll make it a little bit easier to get an angle on it.
So technically.
Oh, so it was peeled already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was. Let me just make sure that this is sprayed too.
Yeah, we'd only do it about halfway, is that right?
There we go. Okay. Yep. So since the liner's already off, yep, go ahead and put that right on the glass there. We'll start with this. We don't need to tuck it in quite yet.
Okay.
And then just get some film on the window. We'll go a little bit farther down. So the main thing is like start with here, and then we're gonna tuck it into this side so far. It's starting, it's gonna give you a hell of a time. Hang on, I'm gonna add a little bit more soap to this. Let's just make sure. Okay. Now we should slide a little bit better. It's a little different because it's already peeled.
Right.
But just want to give you as good a chance as possible here. Okay, this is better. That's what I want to see. Okay, so in order to tuck it in here, we kind of curl this up first, get it flat, and then it'll tuck into the side seal. Yeah, it'll feel a little bit weird because you're actually touching the adhesive there. But usually that part would be protected by the liner. Yep, just keep it kind of curled up. We can go a little farther into the seal, right about there. And then you jump back to the other side and you do the same thing. So you're gonna curl the tint portion up. Not all the way to the top corner, some of this flat side edge here. So I'm gonna pick a spot like here and just curl it like there. Get that part that's going into the seal to flatten out. I'm gonna push that into the side seal.
Okay.
Good. That all looks good. It's gonna just kind of fall back. So you see how this just kind of like falls back like that? That side's gonna do the exact same thing. So now we can take sprayer and your pink clean. And we'll start with the top area and just start smoothing the bubbles out. Use the back side of the squeegee too.
Oh.
There we go. And then we can take the handled squeegee and we'll spray the film again and we'll press it a little bit harder this time. So the first passes are really to kind of smooth it out, make sure you just kind of give it a head start with tacking. It's not going to slide as much on you. Good. Perfect. Hit this little spot right up top. Awesome. And now we're going to take a tri-edge card. So I want you to take that, shove it all the way into the seal, and then you're just going to scrape up. Use either this edge, so like either this slim edge or that one. You can use either one. Well, because you're going up, so we're going to flip it. It's okay. These always confuse people in the very beginning. More like that. And you take that and you'll just scrape that right up against. There you go. Nice. And then same thing with the other side. Cool. So what that does is it helps get all the bubbles out of the side. And then when we wiggle it, like hopefully this is gonna stick. Looks like it's good, it's not moving on me at all. So now we can just roll up the window. So typically at this point, we would pull the liner, but that's already off. So what I want you to do is just lift this and rinse underneath it, and also just spray the adhesive on here too. And I'm gonna switch spots with you. So I wanna show you how I'm gonna tuck this in, and then I'll pull it back out and have you do it. So if our tint is kind of flipped up like this, it helps to get it to curl in the opposite direction. So if I pull it out, I can then swing it back in like this. So flat edge right here, pull back our seal, and just slide some of the tint down in there. And then you start getting some resistance in here. And I'll go to the other side and do the same thing. I'm gonna pull this back, push the tint up onto the window, and just kind of like lift the corner. So the corner here is like nice and flat along the window. And I'm gonna pull the seal back, start tucking it down, and slide it back a little bit that way. And again, this is butting up right against the seal. So it wants to go down. This is preventing it from that. So I'm gonna take it, pick up my slack, and it kind of creates a little air tunnel up here, and it lifts everything, so it's just kind of resting now above the top. So I can pick either side, whichever is more comfortable. I'm gonna take the shank, shove it into the seal, and pry back as much as I can, go back to one of my corners, and try and pull it down into the seal. It'll start to get it started. And then anywhere that is hung up on the seal isn't gonna drop into the seal until we pick the seal up past it. So I lead with the shank here. See, like this little bit, right? Pull that back, and then it starts going into the seal. Just like that. This pattern it's still fine. I'd say like with where the seal sits, this pattern could have even been cut a little bit slimmer than it was.
A little shorter.
Even a little shorter.
Yeah, when I went to put it in the first time, I was like, oh, this is kind of long.
So that'll make it, yeah.
Right.
So we're like we're almost like a full inch tucking down into the seal. So just keep in mind that's just gonna make it harder.
Right.
So if you're like, I can't get this, it's setting yourself up for a bit of a harder install anyways. But I'll try and help you through it. Yep, you can use this one if you want. We'll just pull the seal back a little bit, just make sure we get that corner in. Perfect. Go to the other side. A little farther down with this. There you go. I think it was just that corner was starting to hit just a little bit. Sorry, I'm going to pick this back up. Oh, sorry. This is weird with me on the other side of his. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it's starting to hit there. Okay. So let's pick the rest of the tint up. So you can get it. It'll help a little bit more if you take your thumbs and you take that bottom edge and literally just kind of stick it to the tint, and then it kind of holds it there right above the seal. All right, that corner is going to be a little funky, but I think we can get it. Yeah, this edge right here is definitely where we're going to have the most resistance. There you go. There you go. And one little tip too, you're doing great. You can lead a little bit farther with the shank.
Okay.
So,
Be more like.
yeah, you can, trail with your backhand a little bit.
Oh yeah, I see. That's just making it like.
Mm-hmm. Just got a little bit there. Yeah, if this pattern was cut like half as short, then you would have had like a super easy time. That still went really good though. A lot of people get bound up with that much film to tuck. A lot of people get bound up right there. You did a good job. So then the rest of it, you're in the home run stretch. So just spray the window, squeegee out the rest of the bubbles, use the harder squeegee, try it around the ends, and then you'll be good. Nice job. You guys are making good cuts. Nice work. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. Okay.
Is this a no bueno?
It's curving a little bit. Let me just check. It might be a little bit. A little bit. You could get away with some stuff on this car. But I know we want to make it, yep. Yep. Yep, because our cut is right on our Sharpie line on both sides. We really should have a little bit of a gap in between it.
We have to shift it to like pull it up a bit.
Yeah, make your cut outside of your Sharpie line a little bit more. So when you draw those lines, that's where your edge is. And so we want to create like a 1/4 inch overlap, like 1/8 to 1/4. So you want to go that far out of that edge. So you would cut, and then you get that proper overlap. But that looks like what happened here. So when you're trimming this too, just go perfectly straight up. And then when you cut this on the glass board, you go straight here, straight up, and you won't have this little notch right there. Let me grab a pattern. I'll do the Sharpie on this one too.
Did anybody grab this off the tree? Because I'm missing this one, so I don't know.
Yeah, that one would be yours. I saw it resting on the steamer. You're good. Just want to make sure it didn't get lost. Oh, thank you. I didn't name it. There's quite a few tool names that are just silly. Their cuts are good because you're the master. No, we got a good group this class for sure. Oh, we did it again. We made it half a foot too wide. Am I ever gonna stop that? Probably not. All right, so we're gonna cut away our excess. And then first thing is we're gonna pull it down right about to this edge here. So this is like 1/2 inch overlap right there. And then I'm gonna tack it in place. So it's not gonna move from this spot with a Sharpie. So then we grab a Sharpie and press in, and I use this just like a knife. So wherever my edge is, that's where I just draw my line. So we're just trying to show exactly where the edge of our side seals would be. So now we're gonna roll it down. Grab our top edge knife. I'm gonna cut up into that corner. Now it doesn't matter which way you start or inevitably which way you go, but it turns out a little bit cleaner if you, because this is a nice sharp point, if you end that right there. So now we got all, basically the information that I need to trim this out on the on a board. These are really good. I like that. I just want to leave that here. That would be my sprayers for like the glass boards. This one will be fine. Okay, so you had it cut right there on the edge. We want to create a little border. So it's like we shifted the pattern, but we just didn't need to shift it. It made it simpler. So you can do this freehand, you can do it with a ruler. Or just not even cut entirely through it. That is, ooh, I didn't even snap this blade. There's a little notch there, that's the beginning of the blade. Let's make sure we snap that. So if I'm putting adequate pressure and I'm not getting a cut, it's for sure the blade. It just needs to snap off the end. There we go. Clean up the top edge so you can just follow this straight over. And then I'm gonna round my corner. Whenever the cuts are easy, I'm just gonna eyeball them. And then round this corner as well. So for this big old thing, I'm just gonna go straight up from this edge. Match that up as close as I can. Start with that. And then again, just like an intersecting line, we're just gonna try and simplify the cuts we're gonna make. So this is really where that window started to curve, but I wanna double check that too. Yep, see that's where that window started to curve, and then this starts to then overlap. So I'm gonna start right around here, and I'm just gonna round that, but I'm gonna guesstimate it. And so we can get away with kind of guesstimating that corner, really because like just the type of window that it is. It's it's either going to be rolled all the way up or rolled all the way down, or if you were slightly farther away from the edge, like what does that really mean? That means like I might have a slightly bigger gap when it's halfway rolled down right there. Like that's the worst that could happen there. So that's why I say like it's not a big deal to really guesstimate that round, but you could always overshoot and then come back in a couple times if you want to get it a little bit closer or whatever, but this lines up pretty well right there. But yeah, make that cut just straight, follow this cut there, and you kind of get that intersecting point and then look at what the actual glass is doing. Some of these windows, they just go straight into the seal, so you don't even have to round it like that. It's just this one you can visually see around like that. So anywhere on a window that is doing anything other than going straight, if it's curving inwards, it's always going to drop out of the glass when you roll it down. So on truck windows like Rams, for example, they actually will kind of come back inwards a little bit, and then they'll kind of curve pretty far up. So I'll take, again, wherever it's coming inwards to as soon as it starts to go outwards, I will make this my side edge, drag it over still like normal, and then roll the window down and then cut that big curved area. So, but yeah. Nice! It's all ready to install. But yeah, go ahead and practice another one or whatever you want to do. Gabe Horn, happy birthday. Wait, hang on. I got something special. Yay. Happy birthday. We had confetti and everything planned. I already have tinted 2 of my cars thanks to your videos. Oh, that's super cool. Nice job. So do you have classes daily or 3 days a week? So we do classes once a month for 3 days. We do have single day classes, or sessions, so you can come out and basically learn whatever you want to learn that day. We scheduled them on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so the sign-ups are just on the website. Yeah, just 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you want to come out and just practice cutting door windows, shrinking back windows, doing flat glass, like whatever you want to come out, the day is yours. You guys like that? Yay. I have fun. What's too short's favorite word? I don't know. What is it? We got jokes coming. Hardest cars to tint, old cars. Do you use a plotter? Yeah, we definitely use a plotter, but not for everything. So plotters are great tools. They help save you a lot of time, but sometimes the cuts are not so great, and you have to still know how to hand cut. A lot of cars now, with the right software, cuts are really good. It's just not the perfect solution for absolutely everything. I still tend to hand cut windshields. I still hand cut a variety of doors more because I want to. And then they're really good pretty much all the time for back windows and quarters. Is it much quicker? Plotters are definitely quicker. So even if you know how to tint, an experienced tinter can hand cut one car in the same amount of time that it takes them to plot the car. But where they really come in handy is just speeding up your production. So like if I'm spending time hand cutting a car, I could also be doing something else, right? So I could pay somebody to run the machine, pull cars in and out, clean glass, prep it, and basically give me a head start at tinting it. So all I have to do is walk up to the car, shrink the doors, install them, and then once I'm done tinting that, I can have that person clean the car, and then he's already has another car here set up, prepped, patterns cut, ready for me to go. So it can be a really efficient operation. Can you pull bottom seals without removing door panels? Depends on the car. A lot of times, whoa, why do we have this here?
Somebody was gonna try to strip that before I stopped them.
Where did they find this?
I don't know.
Oh, shit. Okay, we're gonna put that there. Some doors will pull apart fine. Ooh, so this one's been stripped already, right? This can be turned off. But it depends on the door panel. So like this one, for example, we didn't need to pull apart the whole door panel, but there was like a screw here. We loosened that up, panel pops back, and then you can pull this seal. A lot of seals are not necessarily attached to the door itself. They're like pressure fit on here. So you can just pop them in and pop them out. Have you a good brand that you could suggest? I'm tinting 6 to 7 years. I'm thinking of getting a plotter. Geo Shield. Yeah, Geo Shield for sure. We're using their carbon for practice today. I use their carbon as my entry level, and then we have 2 other Geo Shield films that we install very regularly. I'm gonna grab a water quick. Is it still raining outside? Oh, really?
It's like humid.
Yeah. So these are the different films that we install. Carbon, awesome film all around, good entry-level film especially. C2 ceramic, blocks a fair amount of heat. And then Apex is gonna be their top-of-the-line film. It's got 2 layers of ceramic in it. Basically like double tinting your windows. All of them are gonna look good. All of them are gonna have a lifetime warranty. It really comes down to the additional performance. Oh, nice. Oh, quote request from Model 3, and then a Jeep Wrangler with a windshield is booking. Cool.
Are the seals still in this?
Yeah, that one is. That can be taken out pretty easily, though, if you want. I know, it's a tough choice.
Debating. I'll try 2-stepping. You gotta learn both.
True.
When you shrink, use your card.
Yeah, this is worn out. I wonder if this is why they came out with it. This is their new slick strip. No more tint keg. No, of course there's tint kegs. Oh my God. There are 2 guys that got tint kegs, right? Oh yeah, they're right over there. We have your kegs.
Are they in the?
Whenever you guys want, we can go over the kegs with you. So, sorry, that's my bad. I forgot. But you can definitely, we can get the kegs set up. You can definitely use them for practice.
When you feel this, it'll help you.
This the one we put on the door, right? Because I'm doing the Tesla. I don't want.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. I'm just haphazardly installing this like I feel like a tinter would. I didn't look up any instructions. I assume you just put it on while you're not working. Because we hired so many tinters today, that's why.
Just like press it down without really lifting back up. You want just a little bit more. Mostly down in here. Don't worry about heating up here.
What are you putting on the orange squeegee? I just got samples today. They sent these out. Fusion just announced a new product. This is gonna be maybe a more durable, aggressive version. But this is basically slip tape. So with the Jibber Jabber, they already have slip tape installed, but it gets worn out. So they have these 9-inch strips, and you can just cut them down. You can put them over your cards, put them over your squeegees, and I'm assuming hopefully it'll hold up a little bit better. It feels a little bit thicker than your average slip tape. A really healthy workshop you got there. Thank you. Yeah, it's going good today. Day's kind of winding down too. We're at 3:30. We got about a half an hour left today. So if there's anything else in particular that you guys want to see from us, but don't feel rushed.
Besides the kegs, we could take a look at the kegs or try.
Yeah, we can look at the kegs right now. Who had the other keg?
Me.
You did? You want to work on that window, or
What's up?
do you want to look at the keg, or do you want to finish up that window?
We'll look at the keg.
Okay. All right, let's get them set up. Oh, nice. All right, so let's take these over to that sink.
Didn't really think about taking this home on a plane.
Oh, we'll ship it to you.
Okay, cool.
You're all good. Yeah, it doesn't quite fit very well as a carry-on, but we know that. We have people that travel out here. So these are super cool. Few little things. This is your pressure release. So anytime there's air pressure in there, you want to open up the top, you're just going to pull this up. You're going to turn it 90 degrees, and then that's going to hold it open and let the air pressure. It's also rated for 100 PSI, so it's a safety. So if you can just take an air compressor, put it on top. If your air compressor isn't set to, under 100 and it keeps filling up, you don't have to watch a pressure gauge. It'll just pop when it's close to 100. So to open this up, we're just going to pull up on the top here. It's going to be a little bit snug in the beginning, but then turn it 90 degrees, and then it just slides right out. So in here, pretty simple. We have a straw that goes all the way to the bottom. That's what pulls up the slip solution. There's 2 caps though. This one has a red one because it's just a different size and there's no straw leading down to it. You can get another ball lock connector and straw, so you could run 2 hoses off of this if you wanted to. When I was mobile, I had it set up exactly like this. I carried this around with me all over the place. Now that I'm here, I have 2 straws and a hose that runs on each side of the car, but that's mostly because I have one spot that I'm tinting in. So to fill this up, pretty straightforward. We can just rinse it out a little bit. I'm gonna use cooler water in the summertime just to help cool down the glass and whatnot. It's not really gonna help the tint a whole lot, but it's gonna keep it lasting a little bit longer. And then same thing for the winter, I'll use warmer water in the wintertime just to make it more comfortable. But when I fill it up, we'll fill it up, I guess partway today, and then leave the rest for air. Just because we're winding down at the end of today, I don't want a bunch of slip to go bad. We'll swap it out in the morning. Slip solutions tend to break down after about 24 hours. So I'll sometimes get like 2 complete days if I still have slip solution left in there. But by the end of that second day, with geos, it's starting to get kind of tacky. So I'll fill this up about halfway. And then we'll close it back up. Air compressor I have over there by the other sink. Almost there. And then as far as soap goes, 1 ounce per gallon is a nice baseline. So if I fill this up all the way, I'm gonna fill it pretty much up to this black line, like anywhere like up in here. Leave some room just for the air. That way when you pressurize it, the water goes out and then the air kind of expands and keeps a decent amount of pressure as you go. We're gonna put this back on and then carry this back over to the other side. Oh, I gotta do the soap. I think that's over there. We got some soap over there. So this has a standard valve stem on it. So just like you would fill up a tire, you can use any type of air compressor to fill it up. They have cheap air compressors that you can get from Walmart for like 30 bucks. Those work fine just as long as they go upwards of like 100 PSI. I have this set right now to 90. Oh yeah, I gotta put soap in it. I have this set right now to 90. So even if I leave this clipped on, it's not gonna overfill it past there. But take out the pressure, pull that up, turn it, all the air pressure escapes. Let's open this up. That drops out, and then it'll come back out. Soap. So for soap, 1 ounce, so that's 30 milliliters, 1 ounce right there at the top. So we put probably about 2 gallons in there. So we'll do 2 ounces. With Geo, a little bit extra doesn't hurt. Then we'll put this back in, clamp this down, close that, and then we'll pressurize it. What type of soap? So we're using Tint Slip. So your soap is gonna vary with the type of film that you're using, like the amount. So 1 ounce per gallon for most baby shampoos or anything is kind of a good baseline to start. For GeoShield, I was using like 4 ounces of soap in my keg. But with Tint Slip, I can use a little bit less. So now it's pressurized, it's ready to go. One thing is just to give it a little shake, make sure it's mixed. For your very first hookup, it's gonna have just air in the line. So you just wanna make sure that that water is definitely mixed. If you use a baby shampoo, that's gonna settle at the bottom because it's heavier. So you definitely wanna make sure you give it a good shake. But for hooking this up, this is a ball lock connector. You just pull up on here, put it over the top, and then you get it to click down, and then it'll kind of shoot through. I forgot to mention this too, I didn't notice. There's a fan tip on here. They gave you guys an optional adjustable sprayer. So if you want, I have those hooked up on those sprayers right now. I prefer them a little bit more. These are nice because they're just a lot more coverage without too much spray, where the adjustable ones are gonna do a cone tip and they're adjustable, so you can do a finer mist or a wider spray, but it tends to spray a little bit more water, where this is, you know, a nice mist all the time. So just personal preference, but those are over there. They also, we got you guys the little measuring cups too. So if you use a different type of bottle other than Tint Slip, you have a 4-ounce measure there. I want to make sure that this is coiled up a little bit. We give you guys enough hose to get around your average car. It's like a 30-foot hose. So I'll put this like in the rear tire. That way I can get around the whole car without moving the keg around too much. For the class, I'll leave probably about like 6 to 8 feet uncoiled. And then they have these straps on the side. So you can quickly just keep this kind of coiled up and out of your way. Hook this up. And then you're good to go. So I don't know whose keg is whose, but somebody can have this one and somebody else can set up the other one. So whoever wants to take this one, I will set that.
Yeah.
And then,
I already sprayed that. So.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
but yeah, I'll get you your other stuff too to make sure. And then this one's all set to set up. But yeah, I want to make sure that goes with it. Cool. Any other questions about them or anything?
No, so I manage a Starbucks right now. And
Oh, really?
that's what our cold brew basically is in. Yeah.
Yep. Brew kegs. They're like home brewing and
Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
I like it.
Where can I buy one? We have the kegs on the site. I should probably get another little thing other than this, but 313tint.com. We have the kegs set up. You can also go to Sun Distributing. They do all the kegs, and they have a lot more like configurations and stuff. So if you want them a little bit more, like if you want it a little bit different, but I love the way that that one's set up. Brass sprayer, swivels. How much is this class? Pricing is on the site too with that. Same site. This is a Dream Workshop. Thank you. Yeah, we got this set up. We finished this March of last year. I've been in here for a few years. My water was off today. I used Tint Slip in the keg to shower. Oh,
Where do you guys get towels?
I used to smell good from it. We have a few more right on the car. We forgot to bring in new towels.
No, when you buy them.
Oh, where do we get them? So we actually source the purple ones ourselves, and we do sell the gray ones. Wait, no, we don't anymore. The Rag Company. I would recommend the Rag Company. They're a really good source for towels. Either that or finding a overseas source. But the Rag Company, they're hard to beat on their deals. How much did you guys invest in this shop? A lot. I don't even have a full-on number for you, but wall-to-wall cabinets and a pretty plotter in the middle with glass boards and stuff was not cheap. Is that M&M over there? Yes. We're on 18 Mile. Are you guys at school? We teach classes. We're actually a bit of a lot of things. So we can't talk. We have a store. So we're a tool distribution company. That mainly happens here, and then all the inventory, extra stuff is upstairs. So all the packing and shipping pretty much comes out of there. We are a full-blown tint shop, which for the most part, it's us doing a couple of cars. We have too much space for doing that, but since we run classes, that's why we keep all the rest of this open. Once a month, we do hands-on window tint classes. Where's your brother? He's right here. I don't know. Perfection styling. He asked, where's your brother? I said, he's right there. What size roll of tint would be good to go with if you could not order a bunch of sizes to get started with? Eminem is in the building. A good roll to get started with depends a little bit on what you want to do. So a 36-inch roll and a 40-inch roll, those are going to be your long sizes. A 36-inch roll is going to cover this window and the other one on the other side. So you can split it in half, get 2 windows out of the same roll. If you're doing a truck or SUV, it's generally not going to be tall enough to be split in half. I can actually show you with these right here. This is a perfect example. So 36-inch roll size, top to bottom. These are a couple of doors for that Ultima. These are the rear doors, but let's just put some front doors on here. And I'll show you exactly what we can fit. So I go to my cut board. You see, I can cut 36-inch. On a 36-inch, I can cut both doors. I don't have a lot of space on the top and bottom, so if I had a 40-inch roll, I would have a little extra leeway with coverage, but I can still make a 36-inch work. 40 inches is good as well, but when you're talking about your bigger, let's open like a, okay, let's keep it 2010 Ford F-150, right? So let's add some F-150 doors. See how much taller? And this is on a 40-inch roll. Even if I tilt these inwards, F-150 doors are just like so much taller. So you need to get a 24-inch roll. Let's delete the rest of the doors. And then you can fit one F-150 door on a 24-inch piece of film. So that would be on the short roll. So if you're just doing side windows and you're doing trucks, a 24-inch roll is great. If you're just doing cars, a 36-inch roll is great. But for a car, you're definitely going to need a 36-inch roll to cover just your average back window. So I tend to suggest 36 if I only had one size to pick. But if you needed a little bit taller, get a 40. For starters, I would do a 40 or a 60. The only reason I wouldn't do a 60 is because it's so much film. A 60 is a lot of, it's big roll. This is your regular roll. This is a 60-inch box. It's just way bigger. So it's a lot of film to handle. So the hard part is trying to Tetris your film. So if I only need 2 front doors off of a 60, ugh. What program is that? It's Core.
So when this rolls now,
That's a lot to get tangled up with. I agree. What about windshields? 36-inch rolls are actually going to cover the majority of front windshields. This is actually one of the few windshields where you need a 40. A Focus, this model, an Edge, a Caravan, a ProMaster. Those are ones that you'd need a 40-inch roll on. It's an actual tint cutting software. This one was built from the ground up to be a tint cutting software. Yeah, this one's called Core. So it's some of them are based on like CAD type softwares or vinyl cutting softwares like graphic software. But basically it's like that. This machine spits the film in and out, drags a blade through it, helps speed things along. It's not a perfect tool though. It's got some downsides to it, but it is definitely nice to have. Is that all you do is tint? Yes, sir. Well, tint, classes, tool distribution, YouTube videos, live streaming. We make some of our own tools. So I wear a few hats. You ever run into problems with the plotter? We were thinking about getting one. Oh yeah, for sure. Patterns don't always line up. So as efficient as they are, actually it's, I want to actually blow them up with like a bomb, but so you can edit the patterns a little bit. There aren't much that you're gonna do to your average tint pattern to make it fit better other than make it a little bit wider or a little bit longer. Because this top edge, it either lines up or it doesn't really line up at all. So I could make these a little bit wider by clicking this button. I could then, how do you do this again? Oh yeah, the easy edit. Oh, I click on that, then I click on the pattern. And now you see these little arrows that popped up around it. If I just click on this edge, see how it's getting wider? So it's nice because you can literally just like, oh, the pattern was almost perfect, but it just needs to be a little bit wider. Well, now you can do that. You can do that really easily. Don't apply. Cool. But patterns don't always fit like they should. Sometimes it's just an aftermarket piece of glass and it's the glass fault, not the pattern's fault, but sometimes it is like just dumb patterns. So you cut them out, you put them on the car, and then you go to install it, and that's when you find out that they don't quite fit. Where can I register? I'm from Germany. I want to take a class. Yeah, 313tint.com. we should get something and actually write it down. But look at the description and then 313tint.com. That's where our all our store, all our class info and stuff is. It's just like cutout tool on Photoshop. Yeah, it's not far off. So you can take vectorized patterns and bring them into here and cut them out. So if you have an actual vector, like that's what cutting lettering and graphics is like. You can do the same thing. You can use the same machine, different softwares, and you can cut shapes and stuff out, designs out in window tint if you wanted to. How much does tinting cost? It entirely depends on the vehicle and how much of the vehicle that we're tinting.
What is the cost of window tint?
At least $10. So a few factors: year, make, and model, and what windows and what film we end up going with. You all use dimensions and measurements. What do you mean? If we're using patterns, we just go to the vehicle, click the window, and we click cut. If it doesn't line up, we can make some soft edits there, but sometimes we just have to hand cut it instead. Best way to get pre-cuts for starting out mobile. The best way to get pre-cuts, you're either gonna go talk to a shop that already has a machine and just see if they can cut some for you and just pay them and have like a simple arrangement there. It's not gonna be very economical though. Ultimately, you're gonna wanna at least buy a machine and register on the software and cut them out yourself. Because the problem is, okay, I have my patterns, I messed one up. How do you go? You have to go run back, buy another pattern. It's just a pain in the butt. What's your annual revenue and overhead? Okay, IRS. You pay for the program with all the window and size info? Yes. Yeah, this software is $200 a month. And like I said, some of the patterns work out really well. We've ran into some that don't work out so great, but overall this has been, I like this one the best. This one's called Core. So I'm gonna pull up the Focus. So that's gonna be a 2012 Ford Focus hatch. And then we have a sedan or a hatchback. So we're gonna click on the hatchback. See, I got my door windows, my quarters, my back glass. Sometimes you won't have every pattern that you want. Like sometimes a vehicle won't have a windshield, for example. But you don't necessarily always want to cut out a windshield on a plotter software.
You detail them, or? Sorry, I'm detailing. I did detailing, but
Well, look at that. Time flies today. Good stream today, actually. Really, really good stream. I like this class. It's going good. Is it hard to use Core or is it simple? It's the most intuitive software. It's super easy, dude. You take your machine, you plug it in. The hardest part is dialing in your patterns. So like if I click on some quarter windows and I click cut, the hardest part about these things is the finickiness of getting that blade to cut just through the tint and not cut through the clear liner portion. So if I just want, I'm just checking it right now. Ooh, that's nice. See how clean that was? That's what you want your plotter to do every time. But they don't always do that every time. But this was a quarter window for that Focus right there. But yeah, it's literally as simple as, oops, I closed the software. I'm going to click open the software. It's gonna remember the car too, so I don't even have to go find it again. But I would click on vehicle, I would click search, year, make, and model, pull up the car that you want, which then would be this Ford Focus hatch. It wants me to update, I'll do that later. And then click on the windows. Then that goes to this cut board. So let's say we're using a 36-inch roll. Here's my front doors, or let's say I was using a 20-inch roll. And so then we delete one of those doors, and so that it'll cut one door at a time. And then I click cut, and it cuts it out on here. It's basically a giant Cricut cutter. You know, that's exactly right. It is a giant Cricut cutter. I was introduced to, so I had been using plotters for a long time. And so when Cricut came out, I'm like, why would anybody want that? It's basic, like they already have big cutting machines. Why would you want just a little desktop one? Little did I know. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. A Cricut is a teeny tiny plotter. I never knew about all this. Yeah, it's cool stuff. So there's, real quick, there's pros and cons to using these. It, in a nutshell, looks like, oh, you can start a tint business just like that and start tinting cars just like that. It's not that easy. This helps cut your patterns, but you still have to learn how to shrink. You still have to learn how to install, and it's not always going to do a perfect job cutting your patterns either. But they're definitely good tools to have. We have a big one, so we like them. So you guys have fun today? Good day? Cool. Thanks for coming out. So tomorrow, back windows and front windshields, we'll have the same cars in here. Also, if any of you guys have like a personal car that you want to practice on or bring in, have questions about, we have more space here, so we can definitely accommodate for that. But yeah, we like to just kind of, we have some structure to the class, so we're primarily going to be shrinking tomorrow, but it all depends on how people take to it. If you guys need more shrinking practice, we work more on shrinking. If some of you get shrinking really fast, then we try and jump quicker into installations with those people, and just keep things speeding along. And then on the third day, it's just an open class. So if you want to practice more on door windows, you want to try some quarter windows or sun visors, that kind of stuff. It's whatever you guys want to learn. So, but yeah, all good. Thank you for coming out. If there's no more questions, you guys are feel free to take off. But same time tomorrow, we'll be here at 9. Good stuff. Do you usually work later or you just sleep in a lot?
Kind of just a little both, actually.
Yeah?
I'll pull some late hours sometimes.
How long have you been doing PPF for?
I did training at Ceramic Pro in 2022.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So, and then got really more hands-on last year at this time.
So do you have a shop?
Located in a shop.
Okay.
Trying to get one here in the area.
Okay. Where are you out of?
I'm in Westland, but
Oh, Westland. Oh, wow. Okay.
the shop that I share some space with is
So you might have to talk to you. Because I wanted to start a PPF thing here, but I never really did that. So I've kind of just been looking, like keeping my eye out for somebody and still doing all the other stuff, but I'd love to start doing like training programs and stuff here for PPF.
I can do a basics introduction.
That would be super cool. So I might have to get a class going. Cool. But yeah, that's cool. Over in Westland. Yeah, that's not that far at all. Sucks with 696 down right now, though. Or was it not too bad?
I'm not gonna lie, I was on my phone most of the time. I really don't know.
It was just all an early blur. You're just waking up like, I'll get there when I get there.
It was Instagram Reels. So.
Instagram Reels and autopilot. Nice.
It's everywhere. It's traffic, man.
Yeah.
I'm coming from all the way from Monroe.
Oh, wow. Yep.
I'm taking 94 to 75, 75 to 696.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It was honestly like an hour and 10, 40, hour and 10 minutes.
Really? Oh, that's not that bad, actually.
And that's with traffic.
Yeah.
That's with traffic.
That's actually really surprising. Because sometimes, I want to say in the direction this way, from Ann Arbor, that's the direction they have 696 closed in a lot of spots. So I think going back out that way, it's open though. Yep. Let's do it.
So we're doing the windshields?
Yep, windshields and back windows. A lot of shrinking tomorrow. I like shrinking day. Shrinking day is good. That's usually where people have some pretty big hang-ups that we help them work through, so. Good stuff. All right. Yeah, thank you guys for coming out. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
We just leave our stuff here, right?
Yep, your stuff's all good. It'll stay in the same spot. Yeah.
Here, let me just, or you can take my number.
Oh, yeah. Let me write that down. I caught it. Here, I can.
Because I want to do me, myself, I want to attend an advanced class. Like, I just want to get better and better. But basics I can definitely teach, like a pre-cut type thing.
Yeah, let me mute this really quick. we've got film on hand in there. We don't have a lift, but we have the race ramps in here too, which are decent. It's not quite as nice as a lift.
Just teach them front ends.
Front ends,
That's what I learned
hoods,
at my.
the simple stuff with here. Like it'd be great to do at least like a 2-day PPF crash course.
Yes, bulk hoods, pre-cuts, a nice foundation, headlights, and then before they leave, have them do like a full front with, partnered with somebody, and one guy gets a fender, they tackle the bumper together,
Mm-hmm.
a pre-cut mirror or something.
So are you like contract at the shop that you're working at, or?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. I do all their like corrections and coatings. Like if they have a front end PPF and the guy was like, okay, let's do a polish and coating, then they just call me.
Oh, okay. Nice. Because we basically we get inquiries from time to time about it,
Yeah.
and we're just not doing them right now. So I just sorry, we're not doing that right now. So, I mean, it'd be really cool to have somebody that we could call that's like, hey, we have this guy that's interested in doing it. Is there a time frame to set this up for you to do if you wanted to come out and do it?
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was a possibility or not, but it sounds like you're really interested in doing some sort of training class too, which would be sweet.
That would be really, really nice.
Awesome.
I'd like to get my feet into the brands world.
Yeah.
Like a rep.
Yeah.
So that's when you can kind of just step away and salary. That stuff is nice.
I hear ya.
And still run an operation, which is a double plus.
Yeah.
That's how it is at Autobahn. All the reps have either owned a shop or they own a shop.
Yeah.
So it's just super.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I know some of the guys that are Autobahn reps, but I haven't really talked personally to them very much. But I've noticed that they have a lot of actual shop owners and what's cool about Autobahn is I really like the type of network that they've established, where it's very family type of thing. It's more like dealer reaching out to another dealer and trying to help each other out, which is really cool.
The dealer conference that we had in Atlanta earlier this year. Awards thing, blah, blah, shebang. And then we went paintball.
Oh, nice.
And then this upcoming year, it's going to be, I know there's an option for skydiving for 1 day.
Oh,
And,
sick.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun.
All right. Well, cool.
Look forward to it. So, but yeah.
All righty.
Talk more about it. And
Yeah, sounds good.
even the polish and coating, someone wants it.
Okay. Sick. I appreciate it.
And I will see you tomorrow.
All right. We'll see you bright and early. Is that a gigantic chair? I'm looking around. What is a gigantic chair? Good stuff. All right. Well, you guys had a really in-depth look. We streamed a lot today. Do you do wrapping on cars too? No, we just do window tinting here. That's mainly because it's my skill set. So I then take and stretch myself a little thin on the other stuff that I end up doing around here. So we have people helping with doing tool distribution. Mark helps with software, but he steps in if we need extra tint help and stuff like that. So I pretty much, I'm in charge of doing the main window tinting. But as far as pulling in an extra service, I just find myself stretched thin on doing other things. So it's hard to find somebody that knows what they're doing with the right attitude. Great shop, great teacher. Thank you, I appreciate that. Hope you guys enjoyed. We're gonna live stream more tomorrow. shrinking day is a fun day to do that. So we work through a lot of small problems with heat shrinking. So people overshrink, undershrink, get stuck in corners. So that's what the majority of tomorrow is going to be. So I will see you guys then.